the true one-of-ones, like if you're talking about scarcity and rarity and not being a facsimile of something already done, true art like what you do is the true scarcest collectible on earth.
I want people to feel this is a painting and art that you're looking at, not just the technical side. You want something creative that really wows and hits the collector a special way.
Welcome to the Trading Cards and Collectibles podcast on the Radcast Network. From chasing grails to calling bluffs and going inside the hobby. Are you ready to collect? Let's get at it. Here is your host, Ryan Alford.
Hello, and welcome to Trading Cards and Collectibles here on the Radcast Network. We are your number 3 sports show on the planet on Apple Podcasts. We appreciate you already here in our first 20 episodes, hitting the tops of the charts in sports. We're coming for you, Kelsey brothers. Don't care. I don't care. You can swift this. Justyn Farano is here with us today. I'm going to tell a little story. I was with the boys at my first national back in the hobby, and the sport's grown so much. And I'm walking around cards and cards and cards. I'm kind of like, all right, am I going to see something different? Then, being an art guy, being a marketing guy, being a brand guy, I'm like, who is this? Stumbled upon a badass artist, talented mofo. I'm telling you, Justyn Farano is it. What's up, Justyn?
How's it going, Ryan?
Hey, man, love your stuff. I'm a big fan already. I see Michael Jordan behind you. Well, I appreciate the art of Mahomes, but he's not my favorite player. But all I do know is you're one hell of an artist.
Thank you, sir.
How did you become so damn talented?
Well, as a kid, it was kind of noticed real early on, just, drawing. I was always into sports. Baseball was my thing, but, I still drew tons of athletes growing up. And it was, in school, just jotting, or doing a little sketch, and the kids kind of swarming around and kind of just wowed by what I could do at a real early age. And I've been doing this, started the company in 2005 and has really evolved and grown over the years. So
I'm always curious, like with artists like yourself, is it okay? Are you one of those that, okay, if I see this picture here, I can recreate it in my artistic style, or is it just vision of recreation?
I'll answer it 2 ways. From a technical, standpoint where you're just drawing the figure. Yes. But then there's, especially as you see in, more of what I've created, most of the pieces are more telling a story about, and there's more creativity than just, hey, this is some artists are so good that you can't tell the difference between a photo and the painting. I try to be that with the figure to a degree, but I want people to feel this is a painting and art that you're looking at, not just the technical side. You want something creative that really wows and hits the collector a special way.
To your exact point, some art, you look at it and they're so good, you wouldn't know if it was a painting or a photograph. Mm-hmm. But there was this subtlety to where it was unmistakably Josh Allen, but there was clear markings, art, creativity, motion, fluidity that made it artistic. Mm-hmm. And that, to hear you say that, I didn't know that, but I was like, I liked that because, again, if I could take a picture, I could take a picture. You know what I mean? I could take a picture of Josh Allen or get a picture of Josh Allen, but those subtle art things, creativity, things that go, whether it's the brush, like pattern or whatever it is that makes it art, was not lost on me.
And not to shift this, but even like everything you're seeing with AI right now, there's this fine line of not losing the artist side to things, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be, it's already started. Years ago when you saw this NFT,
right,
lush at everything where there was so much stuff and it wasn't really art. I didn't buy into it, what it was at the time. And you're going to see, just with AI coming into so many things, I do think there's going to be a lot of things that are just going to fall because there's so much of it. And then you're going to have like the top tier that's going to kind of push that market even higher because of what it is and appreciation. I mean, art's been around forever, and values of things have drastically gone up when they're in that pinnacle, elite, rare item.
But if you're a true collector, and again, I mean, Justyn stuff is at the top of the game. I mean, but there's entry points, especially from a price standpoint. There's different sizes, different things that Justyn does. I know you do, and you can talk about that in a bit, Justyn. But like the true one of ones, like if you're talking about scarcity and rarity and not being a facsimile of something already done, true art like what you do is the true scarcest collectible on earth. Because it's your hand.
There's an original. I know what my prices were when I first started and have gradually every year, like we've gone up. And there's certain values and price integrity that I keep behind everything and why that's grown. The vast majority of my collectors really, they love it. There's instances somebody has to sell something, but you don't see my art really on the secondary market much because people have a genuine connection to it. And they also, most artists don't reach, not in an arrogant way, but they don't reach an accomplishment till they're older or, passed away or whatever. And, we've been hitting that stride up. And I think people also realize, I'm going to be turning 46 in a month. That like people are realizing like there's still a long way to go and do see it as a long-term investment with my work.
Were you always just into sports? Like what drew you to the sports side of art? As
a kid, not to sound dated, but like I lived watching, ESPN and highlights. I loved, playing baseball was my thing. I, played all the way into college, but that's what drew me. And, but still like watching Michael Jordan on TV, like if that was on WGN, I was watching over the Madrashad Saturday mornings. I love watching those programs and seeing the highlights, and what some of these athletes could do was just incredible. And then trying to, put it on paper, like in a drawing or painting of kind of, it was just so cool to me and inspirational. So baseball was definitely something I lived in, and I loved creating art at the same time. So those are my two passions as a kid. I mean, early on, I really learned a ton about, the structure and the business side. So I would say I'm very involved in it, but I've grown and I've built a team around me that is hitting in their areas so I can focus on what I do best.
Talk to me about your process there. I think that brings up this to a good point for your process of, original to, walk us through that, how that comes about.
Sure. Early on when I was doing like some high profile events, I would meet a lot of athletes that would ask for commissions, and I would be more open to those. At this stage, it's got to be, I already know kind of the projects of who and what I need to do as, a high profile, there's a reason I've done 7 or 8 Michael Jordan projects, as the previous are sold out. There's a reason I've done that many Tiger and Jeter, Tom Brady projects. So when those editions sell out, it spurs obviously a new piece. So the most iconic guys are, yes, the most expensive, but they're the ones that, are like your better investments, to be honest. But if you're viewing it from that standpoint, but there's people that just love the regional teams and guys. So there's been times in my growth of what I've done where I was like living in Boston, and I was doing a lot of Boston athletes and Red Sox, a big market. Yankees are still a very good market, even though I didn't live there, but I have a big collector base of those. But my process basically is I want to create the most piece that's going to connect to the collectors in general, not just to one. So what I try to do, and even if a piece is commissioned by a collector, they're trusting me to create that a moving piece. And there might be some back and forth, but they're putting their trust in me. And I'm designing it in Photoshop. And even before that, I'm really doing an image search and looking for, I'm usually telling a story like, you can see behind me like that Michael Jordan, like most of my pieces, there's a main shot that I want to be the most impactful and then a story kind of around it. And that might be key moments. That might be about their city. It might be about a nickname, anything it could, but something that's really going to hit you. And I designed that. We got Dean Mackey on my side handles all of the nil agreements, the approvals with the leagues, all of that business stuff. He handles. So we got to go through all of that before I ever put, a pencil down to do a sketch and then get into the painting. But once all those happen and I get into the painting process, it's really building up a lot of layers of detail. It's building the shapes and the texture. But even when I show somebody something maybe 20% in, they think it's done. And then when you actually see the progression of where that was to where it gets, I mean, that is the difference really I feel with my work differentiates me from
it's layered, man. I mean, it's really layered. That was when I was looking at Josh Allen, it was not lost on me. I was like, there is incredible layering, and I mean, that's my word.
You mentioned it earlier too, the flow and the movement. So all of those things and the depth, like what you'll see, and it's hard to see it on the screen. When you see it in person, as you did, is like that depth and that life. I mean, it really comes to life.
Do you do card size versions of what you do, or is it kind of hard?
I haven't. I don't see myself I think I don't want. There's artists that are very successful in doing that, and that's what they do. I don't think it's something I would jump into. I think it's building off of what I'm currently doing and then kind of implementing maybe that into it.
So you've got the entertainment stuff coming. Like, what else is kind of on the roadmap for you as it relates to just art in general?
It's really, I just want to be getting into as big icons that there can be, rather than, in my mid-career, I was doing regional things. There was somewhat more collector. So at the top, if somebody was commissioning something and it made sense, it would always have to make sense in my mid-career that it made sense to do there would be a limited edition complementing it. Where now, but that could have been a regional player. I'm not really doing that now. What I'm looking is just making deals, not just in the main four sports, which most of my stuff is baseball, football, and then done a bunch of projects with the biggest basketball players, but historically, but I'm looking to get more into, can I get a deal with, Ronaldo or any of the GOATs in any of these sports or whatever it may be. It doesn't even have to be, it just needs to have a big enough fan base and the distribution and, marketing behind whatever it is. So that's really my interest. I mean, I did a political piece earlier this year. If it's going to draw, I don't want to take a side on anything I do, even though I may have my own beliefs. But we've done some projects with that too, and I think it's important probably to have a balance of both because there's a market for both. But music too. I mean, just looking for things that are more timeless and iconic. Doing projects, and that's kind of the area that I want to live in versus just doing a sole, league or sport. I want to be very diversified in that. And how we market a lot of things today and over the years has been partnerships at a lot of these higher end tier, either charity or just hospitality events at Super Bowl, Masters, Kentucky Derby, MLB, All-Star Fan Fest and Hall of Fame inductions, things like that. But I really do want to open that up more. And that maybe is doing, the movie concerts and just different partnerships where people that can't afford the higher tier, that's kind of the world, of fine art that I'm living in right now. So,
as we close out, I want to hit on that, like you've got all this AI going on and it's great. It's enabling a lot of things, but it can't recreate the vision, and the humanity that an artist like you can. And I think that as time goes on, things like what you're doing and your talent are actually more scarce and more valuable because
that's
of it.
That's where I see it going. You're going to have a splash of all of that, just like with the NFT space that came in. And not to say that there may not be something with that, but I view NFTs on this side more value in as an authentication on a blockchain versus the value being behind it. So I think that with the elite artists, you're going to have that appreciation and respect, and that's what's going to drive that up that much more. And then it's going to be realized there's so much stuff of the other that if that's what it is, that's what's going to, water down, that side, that market. So I think it's going to drive up the top tier, and then it's going to bring everything, all that other stuff that gets overdone is just going to draw out and devalue,
the cream rises to the top, and your talent definitely has you there, brother. I really value what you do. Talk to me about where people listening can learn more about it, website, handles, social, all that stuff.
FaranoFineArt.com, and same on social media. It's all Farano Fine Art. Yeah.
Justyn, that's awesome, man. I really appreciate your time.
No, Ryan, likewise. Nice chopping up with you.
Yeah, man. You're doing some beautiful stuff, and I think we should highlight, again, talent like yourself whenever we have the opportunity.
Wonderful. Be happy to come back on.
Hey, guys, you want to find us? Collectibles.show. We'll have links to all of Justyn's amazing work and, of course, the highlight clips, the full episode, audio and video of this show. And we appreciate you for listening, and we appreciate Justyn for coming on. We'll see you next time on Trading Cards and Collectibles. Collectibles.show is where you'll find all of the channels and learn more about what we're doing. And ultimately, hey, we want to hear from you. You do case hits at collectibles.show. We want you to send in your favorite pulls of the week. And here's the difference. This isn't about just value. Hey, we want to see some $10,000 hits. Had a couple of those myself a few months back. But it's not just about the value, it's about what you're collecting. What means something to you? Share a story, share a video of you holding up the card that you hit last week that was your favorite player and you nailed it. So case hits at collectibles.show. Send in those videos. I want to know the stories. We're going to bring them to life here on the show. We're going to do a segment each week once we get rolling and get some videos in where we share that on the show with us. We want to feature you on Collectibles Show.
Thanks for tuning in to the show. Don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast platform, and don't miss the full video version on YouTube. You can find us at www.collectibles.show or follow Ryan on Instagram at Ryan Alford. Now get out there and collect yours.